Uh, Brr, 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 brr. It's the Hoys podcast. Brr, 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 brr.
What the Sigma?
You don't know how much time it took to route the soundboard that I've set up so that I could play that sound effect. Anyways,
That's the end of
welcome
the
back to the Hoys
podcast.
podcast. I hope you guys are excited because we're 7 days away from the national election where my favorite president of the United States is going to get elected.
Okay. Which one? Joe Biden?
I'll let you know at next episode.
Yeah, I think 4 more years.
We're going to be wearing hats next episode, right, Luther?
Not the hat that you linked me.
You have to find a hat because I already have my hat ready.
Oh my god. That was like so embarrassing doing the intro while Dylan was in the room.
Oh yeah, so Luther's roommate is in the house today. He's gonna be delivering commentary, right?
Yeah, Dylan's gonna deliver commentary as he seems fit. We'll have him officially on at some point. He's gonna say
Yeah.
skibbity out of nowhere. That's what he just said. But he also can't. You can't hear him because this mic is like only picking up my audio.
Yeah. I forgot to
It's
put
like I'm talking
Skibbity
to a
Toilet
wall.
into the soundboard, unfortunately.
What do you have in the soundboard?
I
Wait, can
only
I
have
say
two
something?
things.
What, Wesley? Can I say something and then you play a soundbite?
I only have two.
Oh god damn it! You already played both of them.
Yeah.
Let me just pretend like I'm finishing like the end of a stand-up routine. And that's why I hate women.
What the Sigma?
Luther Hoy! Luther Hoy, everyone!
Oh my god.
I'm using the same app that I used for like theater shows back in high school.
Can you add the Obama one for next
Dude,
time?
you know what? I was trying to download that the other day and it didn't it wouldn't download. I was going to have it on there. I'll have it on. I'm gonna have a full set list by the next episode. It's gonna be great.
Obama.
Soda.
Okay.
Okay. Well, moving on.
So for all the people who
Gonna
haven't
be a
clicked away
politics
yet,
podcast today, folks. Today is Tuesday, October. I can't, Luther. I need glasses. Like I actually
29th.
can't read. 29th. It is 7:00 p.m., which means Luther is now officially an hour and 30 minutes late for the podcast because we were supposed to start
No.
recording
no.
at 5.
Okay. Like, no.
I'm kidding. I thought we were recording at 5, and then I called Luther and was like, "Where are you?" And he was like, "Dude, we scheduled it for 6."
I was like,
And then
what
6
does
rolls
he
around,
want?
and I text him, and he's like, "Oh, well, I said 6:15." No, you didn't, buddy.
I did on the phone.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways,
I was
it
on
is
the
now.
Wesley sent me the Zoom link for the podcast and I'm on the treadmill. Like at the gym. And I'm like, hey.
No, it would have
No,
been a
this
great
is actually
podcast.
not
What are you
gonna work
talking
out.
about? Luther Hoy working his quads.
Quad.
Wait,
I'm
wait, which one is
I'm
like
working
the?
my
Oh, your thighs.
yeah.
Wait. Okay. Wait, what?
I don't
Which ones
know.
are the quads?
I don't know what I was working. I was working that ass.
Wait, the quads are like these, right?
Yeah, I was working those, sure.
Okay.
I was actually in the middle of like the worst, like the most exhausting part of the podcast. I mean podcast. Oh my God, workout. And like I'm like running up a hill, like on the treadmill, and I'm like, oh my God, 30 seconds left. You can do it, Luther. And I just check my phone. I'm like, join Zoom meeting. And I'm like, hello.
Is it midterm season yet for you, Luther?
It was midterm season. That ship has sailed.
I have another essay due the end of this week, and then I have a midterm due next week, and then a midterm after that. So
I do
I'm
have a
just
midterm
perpetually in
next week
midterm
as
season.
well. I have a class that has like divides it up in like three exams, so I have like my exam for that on next Monday, my second exam.
Okay. Here's the thing I don't understand. How can there be multiple midterms, right?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Isn't
They
it
should
supposed
call
to
it
be
third
one test at the
terms.
just call it a test.
Yeah.
Just call it if you don't
Also,
if it's not if you don't have just one midterm, call it a test. I only have one class where there's only one midterm. The other ones they call it a midterm, but it's like they have multiple, and it's like
yeah.
okay, that
I
doesn't make any
also
sense.
I my fucking midterm. I'm sorry to curse, but it there's Halloween weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like into Sunday, I guess. And then on Monday I have my exam, and then on Tuesday's the election. So when am I gonna breathe next week?
Yeah, I made a really relatable post on TikTok the other day when I was basically like, why are they putting why did they put Halloween right before
Wait, let me
election
read
day?
it. Let me
Like
read it. Let me read it. Wesley, I'm thinking about making a Halloween weekend post and having that as a caption, and I hope you're okay with that.
yeah, it's fine. Play the music too. Oh shit, no, don't do
Wait,
that. We're gonna get copyrighted.
wait, what?
What?
Okay, no, I just freaked out. Bruh, why did they make Thanksgiving right before election day? Like an election is happening. Chill, bro.
There's also a lot of
So
emojis
good.
involved.
I sent that to a group chat that Dylan's in, and Dylan replies like, it's right after my birthday," because his birthday's in November, like
The funny
mid-November.
thing too was that when I first posted it, it said Thanksgiving before, like instead of Halloween.
No, that's what I just said. I said Thanksgiving out loud.
Oh, okay. But
Boy,
I reposted it with Halloween instead.
bro, why is Instagram just logged me out of my spam? I'm actually concerned.
Anyways, we're supposed to be
Chat.
talking politics. Luther, you went to your very first Kamala Harris rally
And my
yesterday,
last.
and your
Hold on.
last.
I
Um,
don't know my password for my spam. Sorry.
I'm going to my third rally in 2 weeks tomorrow, and that's the first time I'm seeing Kamala Harris because the ones beforehand, the first one I went to was Obama and Tim Walz, and then
Obama.
Obama, and then the one I went to yesterday was Bernie Sanders and AOC, and then tomorrow's gonna be a massive rally. They haven't announced the location, but I think they're gonna be doing it in our little basketball arena. They might be doing it outside, but if they were doing it outside, I'd expect to like see them like putting up like venue stuff on Bascom Hill, and I don't see them doing that. So I'm gonna assume that they're doing it indoors, um, at our basketball arena, and that thing's gonna be packed. Um, should be exciting. Luther, talk about your rally experience.
Okay, I was gonna ask you because you saw Tim Walz as well. That's the only person we've seen mutually. Also,
Really?
by the way, what you just glitched the heck out for me.
You did too,
Yeah,
so it's okay.
that's the only person that we saw mutually, I think. Because I didn't see Sanders, I didn't see Obama. Yeah.
Soda.
But anyways, he was like, okay, first of all, like I find out like the day before, and they're like 5 hour block from 4 to 9, and I'm like, okay, shit, let me just clear my calendar. Like I'm a college student, like what the heck? Like
Yeah, it's
I
a little
can't do that.
insane. There's a
But I
lot
was like,
happening right now, and just to just go to a rally for like an entire day is a lot.
I did
But
not realize that people are there for 5 hours. And I'm like, okay, I gotta do this. Like, once in a lifetime opportunity. I went to a Trump rally technically. Like, I gotta even it out. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was like, it was just like I have to go to this. And um my friends that were going with me, like one of them stayed the whole time with me, but like a couple of them like had like an extracurricular to go to, and they literally missed Harris. Like they went to the rally and like
Oh,
left before she was on stage,
the thing is,
because of
like,
how
you
long we
kind
were
of
waiting
have to
there.
show up like early or on time because you can't really like get in late. That's not
Bro,
really.
we showed up at 4:10, like 10 minutes before but after like 4, which was when they said it started. The line was literally like 2 miles long. It was insane. Like we show
Yeah,
up to the venue, we're like, "Oh, there's a long line. Let's just keep following the line." Okay, it just keeps going. Like, holy moly, it was so long.
yeah.
We just
The
waited in this
AOC and
line for
Bernie
like 2
rally,
hours.
the
What?
AOC and Bernie rally, which was just in a tiny little venue, went all the way around the block. The
Yeah,
line.
no, it was it really like showed how many people were there, which was cool. Like I like how many people were there. It was just exhausting to try to get in there. And then we get in there and like by the time and like it's like no one is speaking until like 6:30 or yeah, no one speaks until 6:30. And like they have like a bunch of like local people on first that people don't really know that well. They had like my favorite speaker though wasn't like Kamala or Tim or anyone you would really expect. He was like I forgot his name. I should know his name, but he's like a county commissioner for Detroit. It was kind of random, but he
Hmm.
was like an Arab American and he talked about the war in Gaza the whole time, and I thought that they weren't gonna address that at all. But he was like, I think that Kamala Harris is the best choice. I think that she's the only one that can actually like make a ceasefire and hostage agreement. I don't think that Donald Trump can do that, and so we need to vote for Harris, which is like smart because they're in Michigan. Um, but that being said, sorry. That
Said.
being said, um, hang on. I wanted to ask you about Tim Walz. Before I talk about Harris, I'm gonna talk about Tim Walz. This, I feel like Tim Walz for me, he has like labeled himself as like an American dad, like charismatic guy. And I did not get that last night. I don't really know if
Hmm.
this is a campaign choice or if this man is just tired. He was angry. Like he was mad.
Really?
Like he was up there and he like didn't smile. He was stern the whole time, and it was like creepy. And
Really?
like yeah,
Huh.
like this man is he was mad. He was like, it's crunch time. Like we have no time left, guys. Like you need to get out the freaking vote out. Like
No, the fear being
crazy.
like reciprocated by the campaign right now is real. Like they are trying very hard to like scare voters into voting for them. Um,
But that's either side.
but
That's
I
not
didn't
even
really get
Democrat.
that vibe from him when I saw him at the rally at
I
our
don't.
rally.
I think he might have had like a bad day or something.
Yeah,
Like it was weird. Well, I
was
calling him weird is like kind of ironic, but because of the whole like weird Republican thing. But I don't know. I still liked seeing him there. I like Tim Walz a lot, but it was an interesting speech. It was different than what I was expecting.
hmm,
Um, but then I will say, and then Kamala Harris just comes in and literally like if you have watched anything that Kamala Harris has said in the last month, like any interview, anything ever, you would have heard what she said at that rally last night. She said nothing new. It
yeah.
was all the same. It was
It's really
genuinely
like I don't know if it's the speechwriters or just her, but like, and this was an issue with Joe Biden too, where they would just like, both of them would just say the same thing over and over and over again at the rallies,
yeah.
and it comes off as inauthentic to me, and I think it comes off as inauthentic to a lot of people as well, especially
Hmm.
since like one of the biggest things working against her coming into this race was that people didn't know her, right? Like she was
Yeah, yeah,
VP,
yeah.
but like nobody nobody knew her on a personal level and maybe the way that they knew Joe Biden just because he had been doing it for so long.
Who is this
Um
diva?
and so like that like among undecided voters that's one like that I think that's the top concern with Kamala Harris is that they just don't know much about her. And so it's a little bit it's I feel like it's counterintuitive for her to say the same thing over and over again. She should be introducing new sauce, right?
Yeah.
She should be talking new things about her background, or maybe even speaking to a new policy. Like this whole thing where she's like, um, I was a prosecutor in California, and I prosecuted transnational gangs. She says that at every rally, right? She said that at your rally.
Yeah.
It's it's tiring. Like, I think that she needs to like she needs to say, and it makes me so mad when people cheer when she says that as well, just because like she's just I mean, I have issues with that like personally because I think that when she says things like that, she's kind of caving to like right wing framing on immigration to be like, oh, all of these gangs are going through the border when it's just not really that's not really what the data shows. Anyways, um, what else did you think about Kamala Harris?
Well, hmm. she also she also didn't speak for that long, so I felt like we were waiting so long for like nothing. Um, I don't know. I was just kind of disappointed. And like I don't know, like I just so we're gonna talk about this, but it was the day after the like crazy Trump rally in New
Madison
York,
Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden. She could have said something, and she has said something in different clips, but she didn't say it at our rally. This
Did
was the
she really
first
not
rally
address
after
it?
that. She didn't, and even like she didn't say a word.
AOC
I was like,
started her speech by addressing it, and
yeah,
she's not even running.
yeah,
This is this is like one of those things. This is the easiest thing for her to address because especially since there's so many Puerto Rican voters in swing states. Like there's like I think there's like 150,000 Puerto Ricans in Pennsylvania, the like most key state of this race. For her not to address it is kind of just like
yeah.
that's
Well,
that's
she is
a
addressing it. She
clear
just didn't
misstep.
choose to do it at our rally, which was weird.
Yeah,
So I was
but
just
she has
because
the
okay,
biggest
here's the
stage when
thing.
she's speaking because cable news sometimes tunes into those rallies.
Here's the thing with Madison Square Garden, and I want to talk about it later. Like, obviously, we're gonna talk about it a little bit later, but I just wanted to say, like, now briefly, that was like such a big throw on the Trump campaign.
Yeah.
Like, things have looked pretty bad for Harris, like the last couple of weeks. Sorry, Dylan says, doesn't Trump have a lot of Puerto Rican supporters at this point? And yeah, he does. Like, he's like getting more and more. I still think that
I don't
Harris
know.
probably
I
has
don't know,
more, but
especially Puerto Rican voters,
yeah, but
but
more
like a
Hispanic
lot of
voters.
let he's gaining on Hispanic voters in general.
Yeah, and I think like so like I Harris campaign hasn't been polling as great last couple weeks. Okay, and there's a number of reasons why, and like a lot of Democrats are saying, oh, just because there's more conservative polls that are coming out. But I don't really, I'm not sure if I'm buying that completely. But I do think that they now need something to stick the landing. They need a good like they need something that will put them over the edge for the end. And this could have been the thing. Madison Square Garden thing like needs to be talked about more because it was insane. And
That
we will.
should be the October surprise for
Yeah,
the the Democratic messaging.
yeah. So, but anyways, I do want to say, okay, so another thing about the rally is that there was a lot of counter protesters, and I originally thought that they were outside of the venue, Wesley, but I was wrong. I was calling Wesley about it a couple days ago or yesterday. And I was wrong. They were actually inside the rally, but they just
Oh,
it
so
was for
they
Palestine.
weren't even there was not even protests outside.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, like in line when we were in line, there was a bunch of people who were walking down the street saying ceasefire now, and like said they had like Harris is like warmonger. They said it was meaner than that. It was they had like a photo of Harris and like blood splattered all over her face. and they
Yeah.
were like walking around. Um, oh, and like when the Arab American was speaking, like I thought it was like the best speech I've heard all night. Not even just because I wanted them to talk about that. I just thought that like he was a good speaker. And like everyone in the crowd is like dead silent. And I'm like, guys.
It's the demographics of people showing up to those events. Because this is
Yeah,
something
I
that
don't.
matters a lot to a lot of Michigan voters. It's just it doesn't
But
show up at the rallies a
oh
lot.
my God, the rally was so white. I know Ann Arbor is really
Yeah,
white, but like the rally was really white. I was like, guys,
that's pretty
sad.
consistent across all of the
Well, I
rallies that
don't
I've been
think
to.
so. The rallies you went to, but
But
Wisconsin's
also,
white
I'm in
too.
Wisconsin, so
Yeah. But anyways, I'm off track. So, but so she was drowned out at a moment by the the protesters, and then she like was like basically forced to address it. She was like, I hear you guys. I don't worry. Me like we're working hard to get a ceasefire and hostage deal. And then she just like moved on. Like, okay, cool, but like that's all she said. That she said that one sentence and then like just continued to move on. I was like, girl, this is not how you address this. Like that is not convincing at all.
and
I don't
it's
know.
also so clear now that it's a lie that she's working
Yeah.
for it because they've been saying that for what 6 months now, and nothing has
Yeah.
happened. I don't
Yeah.
think
And
anybody
she
believes her anymore.
I want you to. I want since you were the one that told me this, Wesley, but you think that like she should bring up that Netanyahu is calling that Trump is calling Netanyahu every day, right?
Yeah, but that's an excellent thing to bring up. And I mean, at this point, if the Harris campaign isn't going like this is purely from a politics perspective. If they're not going to support in their policies an arms embargo, they should at least be going after Donald Trump when he is supporting a far right government like Netanyahu
Yeah.
and the Likud party. They should not be. They should be very. They should still be very hostile to the Likud party, and it sounds like they're not when they don't bring up things like that. Like
And like
that could have been an that 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 would have been extremely good messaging if they had brought that up because nobody like even even most like Zionist Jews in the United States don't like Netanyahu.
and it's also pretty clear that Netanyahu wants Trump to win. And so
Yeah,
like I don't know. Like there and she's in Michigan and she's not talking about these things. And I'm like, girl, it is crunch time. Tim Walz said it was crunch time and you're not crunching. You're not locking in. Like
yeah.
this is not this state went 3 points to Biden in 2020. Why is it polling like 0.4 to you right now? There's a reason why.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, I want to hear your so you're going to Kamala Harris tomorrow. We're
Luther.
going to talk about that, but I want first you should talk about the Sanders, AOC, and Obama.
Yeah, so a week ago I skipped out on my Wednesday international relations lecture to go with my friend to the Obama Walls rally. It was a Tuesday in the middle of the day, and so it was actually not very packed. Um, just because it was happening in the middle of the day, I think a lot of people couldn't take off work or take off school to do it. I had to take off classes to go to it. I didn't see a lot of students there. So I think it was mainly geared towards people who were very active within the campaign, like knocking on doors, and not just like the regular
But how
Joe
did you
Schmoes.
wait, sorry, but you're not involved in the campaign, right?
No, no. I mean, it was open to everyone, but
Okay.
the majority of people showing up were involved in the campaign.
Yeah.
Um, just because of the timing of it.
How
Um,
small was it?
it was a big venue. So there were the upper deck of seats were completely empty, and then the entire back area was empty too.
Oh, it was smaller.
It was a convention center,
Okay.
so not all of the seats were full. Um,
Oh, Donald Trump. Tell Trump this.
Don't tell
It'd
Trump.
be
Don't.
good.
I mean, it was still a pretty decently large crowd. Um, the energy was pretty good. Um, I think Obama's a pretty good speaker in general. I obviously
Oh
don't
yeah.
like him. I think Mark Pocan, which is our congressman, is a good speaker as well. He also
Uh-huh.
spoke at the AOC Bernie Sanders rally. Um, I had a headache, so I like really wasn't into it at all. There weren't any protests that I could see or hear. Um, but there were a lot of people watching online. I looked online and I saw just on Twitter there was like 1.4 million people watching, and there were probably more people watching through cable and YouTube and whatever. I think yeah.
Yeah.
So there was good online audience, and there were a few good clips from Walls. He was a pretty good speaker, which I normally would say that he's like not like the best speaker at least, or he's maybe a little bit maybe he's not charismatic enough compared to like other
Right.
VP picks, but I think he was pretty solid at that rally. Um
Good.
and then yesterday
I
I
love
went
that
to
guy.
to a smaller rally with AOC and Bernie, and it was full of a bunch
And
of
how
like
did you get
old
in there?
heads. Huh? The
How
energy
did you get
was
in
pretty
there?
electric in there. Huh? What'd you say?
No, how did you get in? Like,
How did I get in?
was
I
it
signed up.
exclusive? Okay.
Well, actually, I signed up, but then I didn't get an email back saying I was confirmed. But as you probably know from experience, you just have to show an email to show that you like are
Yeah.
confirmed to get in. So my
Yeah.
friend forwarded me her email, and I just showed up to get in. Actually, they didn't even
Boy.
check. So um,
Bro,
it was
you took up
completely
a spot
full.
from like this.
I would say that the theater was about as big as our high school theater.
Oh,
So it wasn't big
so
at
not that
all,
big.
but it was full of like a bunch of old Bernie and AOC heads. Like
Uh-huh.
everybody I saw was wearing like 2016, 2020 Bernie Sanders shirts or like
Uh-huh.
AOC campaign shirts. So it was clearly a lot of people who were just there to see them. Um
That's cute.
um I think the best speaker they had though, well, Mark Pocan was the only person who talked about Palestine, which I thought was very confusing considering like out of the three of them, he's probably the least pro Palestine. He's still like pro cease. Luther, your video stopped by the way. Uh oh. I think we lost Luther. Okay. This isn't good. Let me text him. I might cut this part out.
Hey, chat.
Luther, what happened?
I don't know.
Okay, so you can't blame it on my internet now that you're
My
lagging.
internet, your internet is terrible. It kicked me off
My
the Zoom.
internet,
It
my
kicked
internet
me
is
off the
terrible.
Zoom. It's
I kicked
so
you off.
bad. He kicked me off
Okay,
the Zoom.
so I'll just cut that part out in the recording. But what did you like?
What, you didn't
Uh,
speak to yourself? That's what I would have done.
no, I felt like that was gonna be too awkward. Because also, I was in the middle of talking about AOC and Bernie, and then I'd have to repeat that to you once you got back in.
Uh,
Yeah. Uh,
okay.
what did you miss?
Wait. Well, okay, so you're talking about how the speakers and only one of them addressed Palestine.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I thought that was weird because Mark Pocan, like probably out of the three of them, is like the least pro Palestine. He's still like pro ceasefire, and I also think pro arms embargo. Um, but
I don't know who this
of the
man is.
three of
Who is he,
them,
Wesley?
he's our representative for Congress.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then AOC came on and did like a 15-minute speech. Um, and while AOC was speaking, some people on the upper deck got up and started shouting like "Speak about Palestine, speak about Palestine." They got escorted out. She ended up not speaking about Palestine, and then Bernie Sanders came. A different group of hecklers got up and did the same thing. Bernie continued, didn't like ignored them. And they were both groups were escorted out. And I obviously don't think that I think escort hecklers like should. Oh no. Oh, I thought you cut out again. I think hecklers obviously like it's expected that they're going to be kicked out of the venue, but for AOC and Bernie not to address them is kind of crazy. Like
No, that's insane.
that is like kind of like of all the people who should be responding to those people and like being like I'm with you on these issues and I'm trying my best to like but they just didn't even address it, which I thought was disappointing.
Yeah.
The other thing is I wanted a picture with AOC and she didn't stick around, which was sad because Obama stuck around for the last rally to get pictures with people and
Yeah.
they didn't do that for this one. I didn't get
Bruh.
pictures with Obama. But...
You know what you should have done? You should have been like, take,
dude, what are you doing with your microphone?
you know what you should have done is you got like a friend to like, okay, take this photo of us, and then you like put your arm around AOC, and then you're like, say ceasefire now.
No, well, so we ended up waiting outside, me and my friend, for like to see if they like came out of the venue and then we could get pictures with them. The protesters ended up stationing themselves right outside of the entrance and a bunch of police showed up to just like stand around and intimidate them. And so if AOC did come out, which she like didn't, we stuck around for like 10 or 15 to 20 minutes. She didn't I was going to get a picture with her and then be like you have to apologize to these protesters. Like straight up, but she didn't come out and the protesters left, so
Yeah. So okay. You told me in advance that tomorrow for your Harris rally, you're hoping to interrupt her and heckle.
I'm considering it. I don't know.
Why wouldn't you do it? Why didn't you do it yesterday along with these people?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed like for AOC and Bernie, it seems like those people, in my view at least, are aligned mostly with my values on the war, or not even a war, just the genocide. And so it didn't seem like it was worth it to be kicked out of that event to do that. And I don't even know if I'm going to do that for tomorrow's rally either. But maybe I will.
Yeah. So
if I do, it's
your
not going to
plan?
be with
Why-
any movement.
Tell the viewers, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers.
Well,
so okay,
if
here's
Luther,
my...
if Luther, if I do end up doing that, I will talk about it in the next podcast and my reasons.
You don't want to talk about it now.
Because if I end up not doing it, then I don't want.
Well, let's just talk about like protesting rallies in general. Because here's my thing: is that like when it happened at the Harris rally, the people I was with were like visibly upset about it, and like upset about it afterwards and stuff like that. And my argument is this: is like this is like when you can protest politicians because like I know it's 7 days out to the election, and there's not gonna be radical change in Gaza or whatever, but like if they're in office, there's no reason like they won't there's no check of them. The people don't have a check anymore on the executive because there's no elections. The point of an election is to have a democratic system in which the politician who's in charge gets to reflect like what people's want in policy. And if regardless on how you view the world war in Gaza, if there is a considerable amount of people in America who are upset about how it's been handled, and a lot of those people in swing states, then it is the politician's job to not pander, to change the their policy or enact more change and more policy in their favor so that they don't lose this voting base. And you cannot blame these protesters and people who are apprehensive about Kamala Harris if Kamala Harris were to lose, or you can't just blame them in general, being like, why aren't they voting for her? She's the best option. In a way, like, yes, I voted for Harris. Wesley voted for Harris. A lot of leftists are voting for Harris. And she is the best option. That's why I'm voting for her. But you just can't, like, there's a reason why they were going out to protest. Wesley already voted, but he is still considering protesting her tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the reason is because, like, we kind of want these people to be scared about, like, listen, like, you're gonna lose this election unless you address this. That's how you want them to feel, because if you don't make them feel like that, then they're not going to change any of their policy. That's my views
I,
on
d-
it.
I
I'm sure that's controversial.
well, I don't think. I mean, at this point, I don't think that I'm going to. If I do end up doing it, I don't think I'm going to end up changing anything in terms of what um Kamala Harris's policies are going to be. But I want to like I want to make it clear when if I do it that I am doing this to say, "Hey, this is there are a lot of people who feel this way, and it should be known and it should be seen that they are ignoring it.
Yeah.
People should see how the voices which the politicians are supposedly supposed like to represent are not actually representing."
Yeah.
And I want people to see that live. And so I'm going to try my best to be as loud as possible. I think I can raise my voice pretty loud.
So you're just gonna do it by yourself.
Yeah.
I just don't know if that's possible, man.
Why?
I think you need like a group of people to do it with you,
Why?
because you're not gonna be loud enough. These rallies are big.
I'll get close.
Okay. Well, we'll hear about it next podcast either way, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about Madison Square Garden.
I think Madison Square Garden was the most insane rally I've ever seen from the campaign. Out of maybe I don't even know if the rally before January 6th was as crazy as the things that were said at Madison Square Garden. In
I
terms of the
encourage
things that
all
were
of our
said.
viewers to look up Madison Square Garden rally comedian and watch the comedian's like 12-minute thing, because my God. Okay, here's the thing. I'd like to make this very clear. I have like a lot of freedom of speech opinions on comedians, because I don't think there's really that much wrong with being edgy. Um, and I think a lot of like liberals are mad about this, and then at the end of the day watch SNL, and SNL is edgy, okay? Like, I know that sounds like weird, but
Is
like
this
there's some crazy shit
is this
said on
directed
SNL.
towards me? A
There's
little
some
bit?
like edgy shit on SNL sometimes. I'm like, wow, they really did that. But anyways, I like SNL. Anyways, hot take. They're doing really well this season. Anyways,
Bro.
this guy is different. This man, like, just want. I don't. I want to. I want to make the argument that he, like, when I was watching this, I was like, this has to be like, I feel like this is satire. Like, I feel like this is making fun of Trump supporters. Like, the Trump supporters, you could hear them in the video. They were like uncomfortable. Like, they were like,
Yeah. That's what's crazy. Like, you're making people who are already like kind of racist like feel like you're being racist.
He was like, okay, wait, I cross. He was like he would pause and be like, oh wait, did that cross the line? Okay, let me just say something even more offensive. And it wasn't like that funny. Like there
Yeah.
is a difference. And this guy was just going up there, and honestly, it was kind of funny for me to watch because it was just like, oh my God, this guy's making fun of Trump supporters, but you know he isn't because he's a huge Trump supporter. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
He like pointed at a black guy in the audience and was like, we cut a watermelon earlier or something. Like he just like whipped out every stereotype he knows.
Like, okay, and also like why? Like why would you do that?
That wasn't a
Why would you
joke.
why would you bring on any comedian a week before the election that is like in any way edgy
It was crazy. I
and
think it
is
was
going
like
to
a
make
freedom
like
of speech thing.
especially like people who like checked over the script, they should have cut out anything racial. Like immediately,
Yeah.
even if it was like something funny. Just because you're 7 days before an election, you shouldn't be saying things like that.
He did you the rock paper scissors joke about Israel and Palestine. He was like, Palestine will always choose rock, which was in reference to like the like rock throwing to Israel, which I
Yeah.
studied in class for my nonviolence class that me and Dylan are in. And like the thing with the first Antifa movement is that 97% of the movements were nonviolent and 3% intifada, antifada,
The
antifada.
Intifadas was mostly rock throwing,
Dylan
right?
just helped me out. Antifada. Wesley, cut that out.
Wait, what?
I said Antifa instead of Antifada.
Oh.
Wesley, cut that out. Cut that out. Cut that
No,
out.
I'm not cutting that out.
No. Antifada. The first Antifada movement was
I think it's
97%
Luther. I think it's Intifada, not
anti okay.
not Antifada.
Antif was 97% nonviolent and 3% violent. And yet what the media portrayed and what Israel portrayed and what most people knew about was the rock throwing, which was in the 3% violent. Anyways, that's a tangent. He made that joke obviously in reference to that. And so he said like Palestinians always throw rock. And then he was like, and we know that Israel would always throw paper. And then he did like this, which was like saying the Jews have the money. So he was just like, all right, let me just offend both sides.
Oh my god.
It was crazy. I was like, who does this who who is this for? What is this?
That is just bad.
What is this comedian for? It was crazy.
Yeah.
I
Um
don't know.
and then also they played Dixie, which is like that like Confederate song right before like a black man came on to speak.
Really?
Yeah.
I missed that. Oh,
Yeah.
but we need to talk about the Puerto Rico thing because that's the first time the Trump campaign has like gone out and denounced something that happened at the rally, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. Because he
Cuz
said
they
that
know
Puerto
how
Rico
bad
was a
that is.
floating trash or something. This is like
Yeah,
this is really
he
bad for the
said
Trump campaign.
there's an island, like things are really bad right now. Yeah, like there's an island out there with a bunch of trash. It's Puerto Rico.
Oh, oh, oh. Could you hear that?
Yeah. Listeners, that was Dylan.
Um, like seriously though, like I was like shocked when I watched it, and I was like, oh my God, if the Harris campaign does not make like 14 different ads about this, they're fucked.
Yeah.
Do you know anything else besides the comedian and the Dixie song?
No, well, so I'm gonna say those things, those remarks at the Madison Square Garden rally was mistake number one over the last few days for
Oh,
Donald Trump. The other one, I don't know if this is gonna really go back to Trump, but there was a CNN roundtable yesterday. Do you know about this, Luther, at all?
no.
Okay, so there's this popular journalist called Mehdi Hassan, and after Israel's genocide started, he started bringing on IDF officials onto his show on MSNBC, and started grilling them like really, really hard to the point that MSNBC fired him.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I
so
did hear
he
about
started
that.
his own media uh his own media company, and so he's been doing reporting on there. But he went on CNN to do like a roundtable discussion because I love him a lot. I think he's a great journalist, but he loves debating. He has a whole book that he's written about debating people, and it's obviously very much for like uh for just like for the audience. Like I see debates in general as inauthentic, and obviously he's saying a lot of things that I agree with in those debates, but I still think that debates are like kind of in this. Luther, are you cut out? Oh no.
Yeah, I'm just like,
You keep stonewalling, and I keep thinking you're like
I'm
you're
dead.
you've disconnected. Anyways, um,
I'm listening though. Don't even worry about
I
it.
think I think debates in general are like not very productive in politics. Anyways, with that aside, he went on to this table to do a debate with a bunch of different people who I don't know. But one of those people was a journalist who was, I'm guessing, he was pro-Israel, and they started talking about the war, and Medhi said that he is sympathetic to the Palestinian people, and then the comedian said, "Yeah, well, I hope your beeper doesn't go off."
What does that mean?
Like, like the beepers that went off in Lebanon.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and
Wait, but
so,
why does it blow to the Trump campaign?
well, I think that he was. I don't know. He's not a surrogate to the Trump campaign, but maybe it's not a blow, but maybe it just shows how crazy conservatives are. I honestly, never mind. It probably didn't really change much.
But he is a
Um,
Trump supporter. You know that for sure.
yeah, but he got like immediately kicked off the panel.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
and
about this at
CNN
all.
released a statement. Yeah,
And was
it
it
was
published? Was the
pretty.
video published?
No, it
Or was it
wasn't, but
live?
somebody clipped it.
It was live.
I don't. Yeah, it was live, and then I checked the YouTube, and they didn't publish a
Damn.
video from it. So I think CNN. My, I really dislike CNN. One of the things that I don't like about CNN is that they love bringing on Republicans like all the time. They bring on
Wait,
Republicans.
why
I
don't you
think,
like that? That's perfect. Don't we? Didn't we want to bring a Republican to this podcast?
but here's the thing. I think the way that they are bringing on Republicans is kind of just to like let them like say their platform without really like doing a lot of pushback in most circumstances.
But this person literally got so much pushback, he got kicked off. I don't understand your argument.
Yeah, but most of the time that's not what happens.
I
It
mean,
was
like,
just that that was so offensive. Most of the time they can just go on and like they won't say something like that directly racist, but they will be able to speak without pushback.
but oh, so they don't debate. They don't go on as a debate. They just
Well,
go
this
on.
he came on specifically for a debate. A lot of times they bring on like when they're doing their news hour, sometimes they'll bring on like a Republican to speak to them and they won't like put any pushback.
Okay.
You get what I mean?
Um, well, in my I don't know. I think that it's good to listen to other perspectives sometimes. I don't know this that much about it, but I think you cannot argue that we should make CNN even more liberal.
But I when you're a center publication like CNN, you're definitely putting out a lot of misinformation.
They're not a center publication.
Oh yeah, they are, Luther.
But okay,
They definitely are.
so okay, what's the problem with that?
Being a
With
center,
yeah,
well, they're like okay, they're more like center right. I will say.
CNN is center right.
Yeah,
In your version of politics or in the America's version of politics?
in my version. In America's
In
version,
America's version of
in
politics, where
America's
is CNN?
version, they're like slightly left.
So then, therefore, they're bringing on Republicans so that they can be seen more as a center publication.
Yes.
So what's the problem?
Well, I think at this point, I mean, there were controversies like way early into Biden's campaign because they brought Trump on for a town hall and then like didn't ask him any tough questions. And so it got so bad that CNN like apologized because they were like, "Oh, because so many people were calling them out for like literally being like trying to just be a right-wing publication at that point."
Yeah.
And so then they kind of stepped back a little bit. But what they do now is they just bring on like smaller people who are on the right and don't offer them much pushback. So I'm okay with bringing people like on the right onto onto um onto your broadcast. But what they do is they just bring on somebody who's on the right to like interview them and they don't really offer much pushback in
But
most situations.
what we were just discussing
Yeah, but that
shows
was
them
that was different because it was like a debate where they were bringing on a bunch of different people from different perspectives to debate each other. I'm talking about
okay.
like in situations where one pundit is talking to some random person on the right.
Yeah.
Um. Anyways, what do you? How do you feel about Michigan right now? How do you think it's
For
gonna
the
swing?
election,
Yeah.
I think it's still gonna go to Harris.
Really?
Yeah. And I think Wisconsin's gonna go to Harris too.
Do you think PA is gonna go to Harris? I think Wisconsin's gonna go to Harris. I
I
don't know
think
about
that
Michigan.
Pennsylvania we're not gonna know for like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, wait. Okay, last thing. I think North Carolina is really interesting because it right now it's polling more. It's still polling in favor of Trump, but it's polling closer to Harris than Georgia and Arizona, which
She's
Biden
only
won in
down by like
2020,
a few points, right? Like one or
like
two.
1 point
Yeah.
in North Carolina, and it's polling, and Georgia and Arizona are further right now than at North Carolina, which is interesting because in 2020 Biden won Arizona and Georgia but lost North Carolina. And I think the reason is because of the governor's race in North Carolina, Mark Robinson being
Yeah.
a crazy head. So,
If from what I was looking at, I was doing a little bit of math earlier before the podcast today. If Trump wins PA, he has Harris has to win um
Nevada
Nevada,
and North Carolina.
North Carolina, or Nevada and Georgia, or Georgia and North Carolina. I don't think she's gonna win Georgia.
Yeah.
I think Georgia's out of the picture.
Well, you never know.
That's true.
But yeah. I don't know. It's close. It's a close race. And the states are to watch are definitely Pennsylvania and North Carolina, assuming that Wisconsin and Michigan go to Harris, and assuming
Look at
Georgia
Wisconsin.
and Arizona go to Trump.
if if Harris wins Michigan or Wisconsin, it drastically increases her chances of winning PA from what I've seen.
Yeah.
And I think PA is probably going to be the last to be decided.
Yeah. It's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah.
We should do on the our last podcast before the election, we should do like a share our maps of the electoral college and how we think it's gonna look or something.
Yeah. I mean, we're both gonna be wrong,
Yep. Well, no, I'm gonna be
but
right. I'm almost right.
you're right.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
the last thing I want to talk about is, well, I need to go soon, but I want to talk about Nebraska because I keep on DMing Wesley about it. It's so interesting. The Senate race there is so interesting. It's a Republican versus an independent, and people were not focusing on it like a couple months ago. And now it's like the most contentious Senate race. And it could decide like everything. It's really interesting. And I think the independent's like kind of cool. I don't know. Thoughts?
yeah, I mean, I don't agree with him on a lot of things, but it seems like he's there's it ties into like my argument that there are a lot of Republicans out there who believe in a lot of progressive policies.
Yeah.
Um,
But they
and
were not going to hear it from a Democrat.
they think that the Republicans are delivering that for them, but they don't.
And this is
And
a
it's just
really
because
weak
Democrats have
Republican.
really bad messaging.
The Republican, she's really weak. And she's in a solid red state, and she's pulling the same as this independent. Like
Yeah.
she's just so weak. Like she's down. Like I'm
There's
sorry. Like poor
there's one
girl.
polling like pretty reliable polling polling company. What's it called? I
I don't
guess a
know.
poller that showed that the independent was up by like 5 or 6 points in the state. So it could be really
Yeah.
interesting.
I really hope he wins because I just
Yeah.
love
He's
it.
pro union. He's he wants to go after like he wants to like end medical debt, but he's not pro Medicare for all. He just wants to
Yeah.
like so there's a lot of things that in terms of like domestic policy, I agree with him. He's still uh very right wing on the border, which I guess makes sense where he's at. It's hard to judge him because it's such a red state that like well, obviously he has to have a few like right wing things in his policies that I would disagree with. Like
Uh-huh.
trans issues and stuff.
Wait,
Like
Wesley, I
those are
just
it's so ingrained um into like right wing sentiments now, those things that
Mhm.
you can't really run without those because people will see that in the state.
Wesley, breaking news. Joe Biden just said the only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters in reference to Trump, in reference to the Puerto Rico thing.
Like Puerto Rican supporters in
No, he said the
like Trump
only
supporters
garbage
in
out
Puerto
there.
Rico?
No, he said like in general, Trump supporters are garbage.
Oh.
This is interesting. I don't know why he would do that.
Joe Biden should just shut up.
Yeah, Dylan
7
says
days
that does not
out.
help.
He
Yeah,
should
calling half of the country garbage is quite something.
yeah. Especially in a time where they're trying to like win over undecided voters.
Yeah.
Also, there's been a lot of reporting out there that Joe Biden has wanted to have a bigger role in the Harris campaign, and the campaign has been
I
like,
saw
and
that.
if like I was talking to my mom about
Poor
this because
guy.
she believes our mom believes that the reason why Harris isn't running on like arms embargo and stuff is that it's not Biden's policy, so she can't really like divert much from Biden because
Yeah,
it would
you're
be a
right.
bad relationship.
Yeah.
But if Harris is like openly doing this where she's like telling Joe like I don't want you involved in our campaign that much
Uh-huh.
and like kind of like ignoring his DMs, he can
Yeah.
she could have moved away from Biden's policy as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. So much to say. Well, Wesley, I have ballroom tonight and I'm really tired. And I need to go. I need to
Give
take
us
a
a
nap.
dance.
A dance? A
Yeah.
ballroom dance?
Yeah.
Okay. You're not gonna be able
You
to
might have
hear
to
me.
shift your camera.
Wait. No, I can do it right here.
Da da
Well,
da
no, I
da
can't. I
da
actually
da
can't.
da
Hang
da
on.
da.
I'm gonna dance. You'll see. I'm gonna dance there. I'm gonna do a what am I gonna do?
Bum, 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 bum.
I'm gonna do a mambo. Wait,
You have to sing
actually
it
I'm
as
gonna
well.
unplug my mic so that you can hear me.
Oh, you're gonna just switch your microphone.
Yeah, to Mac. Okay, my audio is different now. And now Dylan can speak and be heard.
Dylan, say
Yes!
hi.
I am not silenced anymore.
Okay, wait, can you see me? This is a mambo. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And then wait, hold on. Wait. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And then you can go like 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 2, 3, 4. I'm in my Crocs. I'm in my Crocs, okay? I'm in my pink.
Whoa, for free?
My
Oh,
pink
hey, Crocs.
pink pony Crocs. I'm gonna keep on dancing in my pink pony Crocs. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the newcomer rounds. I'm gonna keep on dancing in my pink pony Crocs. Pink pony Crocs.
Did you just make that up?
No, I've been singing that all month and it's
Oh,
driving me.
okay.
Hold on, let me do a rumba. Slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow,
Boy,
quick, quick. You go slow, quick, quick, slow,
slow
quick,
these nuts.
quick, slow, quick. And then wait, from here you go
Did Dylan just say slow these nuts?
Yeah.
slow, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. It looks so much cooler when I have a partner because then I just spin them.
Oh, you should bring on your dance partner
Uh,
sometime.
maybe.
Are you close with them?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, we have to like be partners every 3 or 4 days, 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay,
So, you know,
cool.
she's cool. I don't know if she would be on the podcast, so I'll see.
All right, well, have fun. Should
Yeah.
we do the intro or the
The
outro?
intro? Yeah.
Okay.
Bye, guys. Wait,
Bum, bum, bum,
wait, wait, wait,
bum.
wait, 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 wait.
Oh,
We're gonna have one
okay.
more podcast before the election,
Yeah, and we're gonna
and
have hats.
we're gonna have hats. Ugh, I need to
Yeah,
find a hat.
yeah.
But
I already
anyways,
have
okay.
my hat, but Luther told me I can't wear it
You
today.
should have told me about this before the rally. I could have gotten one.
There?
Anyway, yeah, they were like vendors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna do the outro now. Bum, 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 bum. It's the end of the Hoys podcast. Bum, 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 bum.